We have a
Plus
confirmation
20
from
seconds.
Range Operations Director that the test vehicle is performing normally.
Plus 25 seconds.
वैज्ञानिकों ने चैन की सांस ली, प्रज्वलन
Plus
के
30
साथ
seconds.
खुशी की लहर यहाँ।
Pillbox conditions will be achieved during the flight regime.
जी हाँ, आरोहण क्रम जारी है।
Performance normal.
TVD1 का प्रणोद सामान्य।
Plus 1 minute.
Engine thrust cut off. CES separated. HEM motors are ignited. Grid vents deployed.
TVD1 को पृथक कर दिया गया है और CES, CM साथ में कोस्टिंग फेज में है। ग्रिड फेंस डिप्लॉय कर दिए गए हैं।
Quick succession of events here. All the events have been taking place as per the prediction. The grid fins have been deployed. The test vehicle has been jettisoned.
इस क्रम में अगली
Module
घटना
separated.
CGM मोटर की फायरिंग के साथ क्रू मॉड्यूल को क्रू एस्केप सिस्टम से सेपरेट कर दिया गया
Now
है।
the crew escape system has been jettisoned. The apex cover has been jettisoned, and now the orbital module is reorienting itself under aerodynamic loading.
जी हाँ, इसके साथ ही डिसेंट फेज शुरू हो चुका है क्रू मॉड्यूल का।
Drogue chutes
Plus 2 minutes.
are decelerating the crew module. Around 200 seconds of this regime will adequately bring down the velocity of the crew module. Thereafter, the pilot chutes will deploy the main parachutes.
ड्रोग शूट डिप्लॉय किए जा चुके हैं। यह करीब 16 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर डिप्लॉय कर दिए गए थे और करीब 200 सेकंड्स में क्रू मॉड्यूल की गति को 152
Crew
मीटर प्रति
module in
सेकंड से
descent phase with drogue parachute.
62.8 मीटर प्रति सेकंड तक लाएंगे।
On your TV screens, the visuals, the real-time visuals of the drogue parachutes in a deployed condition being captured from the crew module. Current altitude 10 kilometers.
Plus 3 minutes.
इस क्रम में अगली घटना जब ऊंचाई 2.4 किलोमीटर की रह जाएगी तब ड्रोग पैराशूट को क्रू मॉड्यूल से अलग कर दिया जाएगा तथा पायलट और मेन पैराशूट डिप्लॉय किए जाएंगे। क्रू मॉड्यूल की गति पूर्व निर्धारित तरीके से कम की जा रही है। यह ड्रोग पैराशूट के कर्षण के कारण होता है।
The intent of drogue parachutes is to reduce the velocity of crew module from 145 meters per second to 51 meters per second. Current velocity 61 meters per second.
क्रू मॉड्यूल धीरे धीरे नीचे आता हुआ ड्रोग पैराशूट
Plus 4 minutes.
उसकी गति कम की जा रही है। 57 मीटर प्रति सेकंड है अभी वर्तमान गति है उसकी।
Next flight event will be triggered by sensing the altitude of 2.5 kilometers, which is the deployment of pilot chutes and then the main parachutes. We are at an altitude of 4.7 kilometers.
अब तक पूरी गतिविधियां पूर्व निर्धारित तरीके से जारी हैं। ऊंचाई धीरे धीरे कम होते हुए गति लगभग 50 मीटर प्रति सेकंड।
Right, so this is in fact what appears to be as per the plan is what is being said by ISRO right now, successfully launching the Gaganyaan test vehicle. Undoubtedly a big leap in human space exploration. Professor Nambi Narayan is joining us this morning. Thank you, sir, so much for your time. This is great news with the initial a bit of a dampener a while ago. So now we have in fact a confirmation that the test vehicle launch has been successful. So your thoughts?
Yeah, I was telling in another channel that it could be a minor anomaly, and if it is possible, they would have rectified it, and they did accordingly. In my opinion, I was not under tension. Now that it is, I think, almost successful in the sense that we are watching the parachutes are bringing down the payload, and I'm sure that it will splash. I think the time, approximately, I don't know the timing, but it's about 10 minutes from the launch. It should touch down. So I would call it as a grand success. Of course, this is the first step, and it's very interesting that I am now excited. The whole thing is coming down majestically. I'm sure it will be touching down, and then it has to be recovered. I think Navy will put itself into action, and then you get. I think it has a lot of applications. That is what is more important. This mission is more important. I'm not talking about this particular experiment. I'm talking about the overall Gaganyaan. Has a lot of applications, and it has a lot of advantages in the sense that it is better that we become mastered over the whole thing. I think now it is going to touch down. I'm able to see that. Of course, you will be able to see it. It will be touching down as expected.
We have these beautiful pictures of the parachutes that are actually coming down, sir. Leaves us just so excited. At the end of the day, this is a mission that's expected around the year 2025 is what is being estimated. That's the timeline, sir. Before that, there will be a series of test missions of this nature, Professor?
Yeah, actually, there will be a number of tests, though they have stated as 20 tests. This will go a long way. And it depends on the success of one test. Then you will be either skipping a test or... but I don't think they will skip any test because they will be extra careful in ensuring as well as making sure that the whole thing goes well. Because they are going to play with the human life there. So that's the whole thing. Now I think it is yet to touch down. Now it is nearing, probably touching down. I'm happy.
Yes. So this is so crucial. At the end of the day, you spoke about the fact that this is about humans. And there can be absolutely no room, nil room really for error, isn't it?
Yeah, space flight is always, you have some kind of a thing which is unknown. After all, space itself is unknown. So you are dealing with the unknown element. So you will always, for example, today's whole, how nobody expected it, right? So that way you will have certain things which will come out at the last minute. So that way anyway, it is interesting. See, the whole thing is what kind of release now these guys who are sitting in the control room will be having.
Yes.
So this is the first test of its kind.
Which are the other kind of tests, sir, that will be expected? Talk to us a little about that as well. What to expect in the next few weeks and months to come, sir?
No, this is the escape module in case of any mishap. If the fellows are in trouble and if the fellows are interested in coming back quickly, this is what this is most important. The escape module should be most important. It must have so many systems inside, number of parameters which I'm sure that this particular escape module must have been wired with, I don't know, maybe about 200, 300 parameters being monitored. Everything is a redundant parameter because they don't want to take any chance with that. And they want to understand how things will behave in a condition like this. And of course, the vehicle is not the one which carried this one is a Vikas engine. Of course, I'm happy about it. The Vikas engine is nothing other than the L40 version. It has some 2-3 different variations. They have picked up one such thing because of the reduced payload and then reduced height. So I think that engine has never failed. So when we were worried about the holes, everybody was suspecting, oh, he didn't eat. It was not his fault. It was because of the computer was holding it, actually.
That's right.
So, anyway, I think the mission is almost, you can call it as a successful mission.
Yes.
There's nothing else. Yeah, of course, there is one more thing. When it touches down, the Navy has to go and pick it up.
True. Okay. All right, Professor Naminarayan, I'm going to thank you for joining us with your views on that. Let's listen in to these, these discussions happening in ISRO right now.
We take leave from you. Do continue to stay tuned for the address by Secretary DOS, Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
आप सभी दर्शकों को शुभकामनाएं। हम आपसे आज्ञा लेते हैं। सर, थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू। यस सर। थैंक यू। शिवकुमार and Hatan.
In fact, from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh, where in fact the scientists, of course, are congratulating each other. It's a great day. This is a test mission, and that has been successful.
I'm very happy to announce the successful accomplishment of the TVD1 mission. The purpose of this mission was to demonstrate the crew escape system for the Gaganyaan program through a test vehicle demonstration, in which the vehicle has gone up to a Mach number, which is the speed of sound, slightly above that, and initiated an abort condition for the crew escape system to function. The crew escape system took the crew module away from the vehicle, and subsequent operations of the crew module separation from the crew escape system, all the parachutes opening, and touched down in the sea at the required velocity has been very well accomplished, and we have got confirmation of the data of all of this. And we will be further doing the approach recovery operations of the crew module to be collected from the sea, brought to the port by the ships. That activity will continue to happen. Till now, based on the data, everything has performed very nominally and perfect. I will also like to tell the reason for why we had a hold. We initially wanted the launch to happen at 8 o'clock in the morning, but there was some weather-related issues. We have rescheduled the launch to 8:45 a.m. But after going through the nominal liftoff process, there was a hold issued by the ground computer, which is called the automatic launch sequence computer, which detected a sort of a non-conformance for allowing the engine to continue the thrusting to further go. So this happened due to a monitoring anomaly in the system. So we could identify it very, very fast and correct it. And to make the stage ready, it took some time to refill the gases. And that once that has been completed, we went through the proper automatic launch sequence, which checked the entire health of the vehicle. And finally, the mission computer and the ground checkout computer authorized the launch to take off, which released the rocket from the launch pad, and subsequent activities of the flight as well as the post-termination abort sequence also got executed perfectly. So I'm very happy that our team could understand in case of any anomaly how to rectify and come back fast. And congratulations to everybody. This is a big training for the entire team here to prepare for the Gaganyaan program. I'm very happy that launch could take place today within the allocated launch window. And we will come back with more analysis and data of this mission on recovery of the crew module, which is happening now. We are having views from coming from the sea, from the drones, cameras which are being taking them. Before we get any further updates, I would like to introduce the mission director, Sri S. Shivakumar, and the director of the crew module and crew escape system to you. So over to Shivakumar.
तो बेहद ही खुशी की लहर इसरो यानी कि भारतीय
Right, so happiness, and finally there is in fact A successful test mission that has been executed. You can see in those pictures from a few moments ago when at 10 o'clock, in fact, that launch happened finally after much delay, given that there were unfavorable weather conditions and that minor technical glitch. Let's go back to, in fact, ISRO headquarters.
It's a bouquet of 3 experiments put together, and we have now seen the fragrance and the characteristics of all 3 systems with what we wanted to test through this experiment or this mission. The test vehicle, the crew escape system, the crew module, everything I think we have perfectly demonstrated in the very first attempt, but for the initial hitch, but that's nothing a problem at all. All the systems performed well. I thank you for all the support provided by the entire team of ISRO across all centers of VSSC, LPSC, IPRC, IASU, SDSC, HSFC, etc. Thank you all, sir. It was a penance for us for the last 3-4 years, and then we have reached that D-Day today. And it was a very happy occasion that we could make it on the very first attempt. Thank you.
Now, Mr. R. Hutton, he is the mission executive for the crew module realization, and also the mission director of the Gaganyaan.
Excellent. Hearty congratulations to all, my dear team ISRO and team India. As mission director has already said, I'm not getting any words to appreciate the whole team. In fact, it's
straight, in fact, to Minister Jitendra Singh, who's joining us live this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the scientists at ISRO and to all of us for this successful test mission. Your first thoughts, sir?
I think it's the first successful step in the last leg of the journey towards the launch of Gaganyaan, because now we have, with this successful test flight, entered into a very critical phase. And now this will be followed by a series of other test flights. Like, for example, this one was meant to test the crew module, how safely it can be brought back into the waters, into the Bay of Bengal, and the astronauts who've gone up can be rescued. Because sending up an astronaut is as important as also getting him back safe and sound. Now, we will have a series of test flights related to different functions and the level of their performance. Finally, then, of course, the bigger test flight, full-fledged rehearsal kind of a thing. Then just before the actual launch, we'll have a robo flight, and the actual one by 2025. So we have actually entered the last leg of the journey towards the launch of Gaganyaan.
So, what were your apprehensions, given that the challenges are going to be just so different and just so many at the end of the day? We will be sending humans to space, sir.
Yeah, I think the capability of the Indian space technologies is not only at par with the rest of the world, but it has, in fact, excelled them, having begun our journey far much later compared to the then Soviet Union and USA. We are now in a position to give them lead and offer them cues. Like, for example, Chandrayaan is one of the biggest evidences of that, having landed in the virgin area of South Pole. Mm-hmm. The evidences and the inputs gathered by us are being very eagerly awaited by the other countries to be shared. So is the case with the Gaganyaan, and that too, living up to the spirit of Prime Minister Modi says, Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is going to be totally an indigenous mission from nut bolt up to the astronaut, though we had Rakesh Sharma once going into space, but the mission was Soviet mission.
Yes.
So this is also a reiteration of the Prime Minister Modi's vision of self-reliance, Atmanirbhar, and also excelling the rest of the world.
Well, absolutely, sir. Once again, I want to get a sense from you. How many more test missions should we expect, in the next few weeks and months to come?
Yeah, see, technically speaking, today there was TVD1.
Okay.
That is called Test Vehicle Development 1. Then we may have a TVD2. Actually, the follow-up depends on the level of the results obtained from the earlier mission. So one thing leads to the other. So we may have a series of TVD2, D3, D4, like that. And then finally, when the operators are satisfied enough about the functioning of the various components, like today was the crew module performance being evaluated, then we go in for a full-fledged flight, which would not carry a human being as such, but which would make the same kind of activity, the same kind of itinerary as the actual Gaganyaan. And just before Gaganyaan, maybe 4-3 months before that, we would have a robo mimicking all the activity and performance. And incidentally, this is going to be a female robo called Vayomitra.
Right. So I also want to ask you, what is the timeline that you're looking at essentially for the final Gaganyaan mission, when we actually have humans going to space? And what more details can you tell us about these people who's getting trained for it? If there's any information that you are in a position to share with us, sir.
You see, as you would have realized, there are certainly imponderables that I do these missions. Now, we actually had a very ambitious design of putting this up at the 75th year of independence in 2022, but we missed the target because of the COVID. And our astronauts were undergoing training in the Gregory Institute in Moscow when they had to be called back. The lockdown happened.
Okay.
So now, as I said, one trial decides and determines the timing of the next one. So if we go on as we have envisaged for ourselves successfully as we have done today, I think it should be around 2025.
Okay, 2025. All right, that's the time that we're looking at. I'm going to thank you, sir. Jitendra Singh, Minister, joining us with his views on that big story that we're tracking. It's time for a quick commercial break here. Back with much more news in just a minute.
3, 2, 1, 0.
TVD1 का सफलतापूर्ण प्रज्वलन
Plus 5 seconds.
प्रथम प्रमोचन मंच से
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest. Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest. Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
This is the air raid siren that's just been sounded over Tel Aviv. It's about 11 o'clock at night. Watch these images right behind me as more vehicles, more Humvees now head towards the border. As Israeli forces move forward to punish Hamas terror, India Today reports from the front line at the Gaza border.
This is the Kalam Express. From physiotherapy to education, the school on wheels meets the need of many specially abled children in Chandigarh.
हमको बहुत अच्छा लगता है जब हमें टीचर्स सिखाते हैं पढ़ाते हैं। इसमें हमें एक्सरसाइजेस वगैरह हैं और क्या बोलते मैम हमें बहुत अच्छे से सिखाती है। बुक्स वगैरह भी प्रोवाइड हैं हमारे पास।
इस बस के अंदर मेन जो हमारे ऑर्थो के हैं सीपीए सेरेब्रल पॉल्सी और आईडी इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी, जो सीपीए और ऑर्थो के बच्चे हैं उनको डॉक्टर डील करते हैं, उनके अकॉर्डिंग उनको जो एक्सरसाइज की ज़रूरत है वो कराते हैं। आईडी को हम स्पेशल टीचर डील करते हैं, बच्चे की नीड के अकॉर्डिंग जो उसका लेवल है उसको हम काम कराते हैं इसमें। और साथ में स्कूल में भी जाते हैं और टीचरों को क्लास टीचर को बताते हैं कि आपने इसके लेवल के अकॉर्डिंग ये काम करवाना है।
Kalam Express goes to slum areas, colonies and villages where children with special needs don't have access to special education.
ये जो एमआर बच्चे होते हैं, स्पेशल चिल्ड्रन जो होते हैं, और कुछ बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जो बेड रिडन होते हैं, वो मतलब स्कूल में नहीं आ सकते, और कुछ बच्चे स्कूल आ रहे हैं तो उनको एक फिजियोथेरेपी की भी ज़रूरत होती है और उनके लिए एक स्पेशल एजुकेटर होता है जो उनको एजुकेशन दे सके। हमारी डेली 2 बसेस चलती हैं कलाम एक्सप्रेस के नाम से, तो वो ये इनको स्कूल्स में आके इनको ये पूरी सुविधाएँ उपलब्ध कराते हैं, और जो बेड रिडन होते हैं उनको घर घर जाके हम ये सुविधा दे रहे हैं।
The school is an initiative of the Dhanvantari Ayurvedic College and Hospital. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.